macro fundamentals and interest rates, etc., that while you're making these investments into the nuclear foray, that the operating performance of the company may be even further constrained till the benefits of these order books and these expansions actually come on stream?
No. You must understand that whilst the basic problem here is that once we have this foray, this investment that which we are discussing can only happen once we have made the necessary tie-ups, worked out the balance of plant that we would like to be present in order to get a larger chunk of a nuclear power plant contract. Once we have determined that this would happen, and this is something that would be spent over a period of 2 to 3 or 4 years, we expect that the situation on the ground, even in construction elsewhere, will pick up in the meantime. So I doubt if it will put any strain on any kind of operational returns immediately. But when there would be always a small gap between the investment and the final returns that you can expect from it, and that is a normal business practice, and I don't see how that will hurt us.
Right. Mr. Gulabchand, I don't think our viewers realize, but HCC has actually been involved in 6 out of the 11 nuclear power plants in the country. It has built 7 of the 14 reactors. So you've done this business long enough. Going forward, with the opportunity that comes with this new deal, when it finally gets cleared, are you going to remain a construction company? Are you also going to foray into other areas like equipment manufacturing, etc., which are core to a nuclear plant?
Well, that's what I was trying to say. We already are migrating from being a construction company to being a develop, build and operate both infrastructure as well as real estate. So in the area of infrastructure, we are looking at hydropower, we are looking at airports, we are looking at certain major roads. So similarly, in the area of nuclear, it opens out the possibility of adding fabrication and manufacturing support to go up the value chain in supplying to a complete nuclear plant. And yes, we would be looking at that, and we have to look at that if we want to be a substantive player in the nuclear field.
Right.
Besides this, Mini, remember, you must understand one important thing, that it is not only about nuclear power. This now opens up a whole avenue of Indo-US cooperation as well as cooperation with other nuclear supply group countries for a whole other lot of high technology precision engineering stuff, which the defense would want, which does involve construction and erection. So I think that is also another field that would open out. And so these investments would not only be limited to nuclear power, but would cater to the demands of these other areas as well.
Right. That, of course, also has its own competitive pressures because of the number of players in that equipment space. So it's not going to be an easy task to actually scale up on that end.
No, market economies are never an easy task,
okay,
but they always are most competitive, yet produce the most prosperous societies.
Right. Mr. Gulabchand, while you're here, we must talk about the rupee as well, because it's kissing distance away from the 45 to a dollar mark. What's your own take of it? Because you know, I don't think we stress the point enough that a weakening rupee actually hurts the Indian economy more than it helps.
It certainly hurts the Indian economy, and I think everybody is finding that out. And what is sad was that it was as the world economy, the inflation around the world was causing already certain problems, but our own management of the economy has worsened that problem for us. The RBI actually bought dollars at a time when they should not have been even looking at the dollars. And as a result, we converted a rupee that was growing stronger to a rupee that is growing weaker. And I think this has resulted. Now, I don't know why we have acquired all those reserves. When they were being acquired, we were told that the rupee is appreciating fast, we want to keep the balance. When the rupee slid so fast, why aren't we selling those dollars? I don't think that that the management of the rupee has been done very well. We shouldn't be acquiring so much reserves. A country like India needs a certain amount of reserves only for emergency. We need to understand what that figure is. It must be transparently placed before the country that this is the reserves we'll keep. There are no reserves with France, Germany, England, etc. This is a socialist country phenomenon. Why are we doing this? And the rupee is virtually free on the capital account. We are only holding back the official announcement. So I personally feel that the rupee going down augurs very bad. But I'm sure that the new governor will understand this, and I think he will take some corrective action.
Sure. Mr. Gulabchand, a couple of very quick questions for you. You said you would need to be in conversation, you would need to look at tie-ups to actually take this NSG clearance nuclear benefit forward. Have you already been in talks with companies like Westinghouse, GE, etc., or is that dialogue still to be initiated?
So yes, of course we have been in discussion with GE, with discussion with Alstom, and the whole host. Now obviously, the seriousness with which you have to move forward would change. But we already are in touch with all these people.
Sure. One last question, sir, then, since we were discussing the rupee, your own take on what sort of GDP growth this economy can actually grow at. We're looking at an IIP number towards the latter half of this week as well. What's your own assessment? Are we trending towards 7.5%, or can 8% still be achieved, you think?
See, listen, even if you look at 7%, I don't think we should make predictions. But when you look at some of the things happening, if we continue to depreciate the rupee, if we continue to increase the interest rates to almost intolerable levels, then we are going to have a situation where even 7% would look difficult, because you can go wrong a percentage here or there. So if they continue with these harsh measures, I wouldn't be surprised that if we drop below 7 as well. But I do hope they try to understand that the situation is quite different. Globally, the situation of the Indian economy within the global economy is again different compared to any time in the past, and that it calls for innovative solutions. The standard remedies of strangulation by interest, mopping up excessive money, must be re-looked at in order to understand what really will benefit India. And I think if they do that, then we can still see a growth rate of 7% or above. Otherwise, I'm afraid it can even go down as low as 5%.
Right, Mr. Gulabchand, we'll leave it at that. Always a pleasure. Thanks so much for joining in. That's Hindustan Constructions, and of course what they believe with respect to the benefits of this nuclear program if and when it goes through, as well as their take on the rupee and the economy as a whole. Before we head